It's 9 a.m. in Hong Kong. It's 1 a.m. in the middle of the night in England. I'm in Hong Kong talking to Rob Neal the magician, who is somewhere in the UK, 8 hours behind me. We are talking on the phone. He can't see me, and I can't see him. I've got a pack of bicycle rider back playing cards, and it looks like they're brand new. They still got the cellophane on. I'll just crinkle it in front of the microphone there. So I'm going to open these up.
Yeah.
There we go. Take off the cellophane. Break the seal. Ouch! There we go.
I'm impressed that they're new.
There we go.
Good.
So here they are. These are brand new playing cards. So what do I do, Rob?
Okay, so obviously first of all you got a brand new deck, so you should have 2 advert cards.
That's right, I do.
On one side.
Yep.
And 2 jokers on the other. So remove those 4.
Okay. Off go the 2 adverts. Off go the 2 jokers.
Okay, so start off and shuffle the cards up so you know they're mixed.
Alright, gonna shuffle them up. It's not a very good shuffle. I'm glad this isn't on video. They'd see how rubbish I am. Okay, there we go. Shuffle the cards.
So you're happy they're mixed?
Yep.
Ish, you know,
Yep.
they're not in.
No, I've shuffled them.
So that's good enough. Good enough. So if we were playing like a game of poker, we would need a hand each or a pile of cards each.
Yeah.
So can you deal 2 piles of cards face down?
Okay.
Okay, as if you were playing poker. 1 pile for you and 1 pile for me.
All right.
But however many cards you deal for yourself, you need to deal me the same.
Okay.
Try and keep it between 1 and 10, because obviously we don't want to be here
For hours. You need to go to bed.
weeks.
Oh, here we go.
That's fine.
Okay.
More than
Here
1,
we go.
less than 10.
2 for
That's a good
you.
number.
3 for you. 3 for me. 4 for you.
But the end number, whatever, I know you've just said a couple of numbers, but whatever you end up with, don't let me know.
I'm not
how
gonna let you
many.
know. Okay. Okay. Right.
So, if
So
you
that's
want,
it.
can
You
take
don't
some
know.
back.
You
So
don't know how
2
many.
piles, and they've got the same amount of cards in.
Yep. I've done that.
Excellent. Obviously I can't see what pile you would be choosing.
No.
But point to one, and whatever one you commit to by pointing at.
Okay.
Could you pick that pile up
Okay.
and look at the bottom card and remember it? Don't say it. Just remember that bottom card.
Okay.
So you've got it on the bottom of the pile.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Could you put that pile that you're holding back on top of the deck?
On top of the deck.
Yep. So you got that.
Yep.
You've put it back on top of the deck you just dealt from.
Yep.
Excellent. Could you now deal off the cards from that deck that you're holding down one by one, and I'm going to try and guess what card is yours.
Okay.
But it's kind of on my command of deal. So every time I say deal, I'd like you to deal 1 card face down, and we'll make a new pile.
Okay.
Okay, so you ready?
Yeah.
So we go the first one. So deal.
Okay.
Deal.
Okay.
Deal.
Okay.
Deal.
Okay.
Deal.
Okay.
Deal again.
Okay.
Deal again.
Okay.
Deal again.
Okay.
Deal again.
Okay.
Deal 1 more.
Okay.
And we'll go 1 more. Deal
Okay.
1 more.
Okay.
So you've done that. That's fair.
Yeah.
So now hopefully we should have gone past your card.
Okay.
If we've done about 11-15 cards.
All right.
So we should have gone past your card. So pick up that newly dealt pile
Okay.
and place it back on top of the deck you just dealt from.
Okay.
So now you should have, Ben, a whole deck in your hand, correct?
Oh, hang on.
Have you left some out?
So hang on.
Is there still a pile on the table?
Yeah, I've still got your.
That's fine. Don't touch it. Is it still there?
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, I'm not sure if this will work. Could you put that pile that was left out, put it on top of the deck that you've been dealing from?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you've got the whole deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after this, I'm not sure if it'll work. could you deal off one card for each letter, face down?
Okay.
And
Sure.
spell it out loud.
Yeah.
Could you deal off, this is my card? So one card for each letter.
Okay.
Spell it out loud.
THISISNYCAR. Oh no, no way. Oh my good. Oh my god. That's amazing.
The D was your card, was it?
Yes, the letter D is my card. Oh, that is weird. Oh man.
Excellent, we got there.
Wow, that's unbelievable. That is pretty skillful, because you couldn't see what I was doing, so obviously it's very hard for you to correct me when I put the wrong pile in the wrong place. Wow.
It's very good.
Because I was so convinced I'd messed up your trick. I was like, oh no, I've messed it up. I've put the cards together, and wow, good start. Wow, no way. Wow, that's Rob Neal, the close-up magician, and we're going to be talking to him in just a moment. I do some magic, so I kind of know what he did, but he still got me. He still misdirected me. What a brilliant guy. We're going to talk to Rob Neal in just a moment. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome. This is Big Ben. It's great to be back. I've just finished putting together a bubble show for corporate events, and it was a lot of fun to do it last Thursday, being backstage again at a huge ballroom at a convention centre. It's quite exciting. It's the closest I get to being in a real theatre. You know, you're backstage. There's a sound crew. There's a backstage area. And the room is it's a huge room. It's dark, and outside beyond the stage there's the audience coming in, and it was really good fun to do it. Did have a problem getting home though. I bought this huge black ring for my bubble show, and when I finished the show at about 11 PM I thought I had to call a minivan because it's too big for my props to fit in a taxi, and I hadn't realised that minivans stopped working. You can't hire a minivan after about 11 PM, but luckily I did find a guy called Henry of the minivan, and struck up a relationship with him, and hopefully I'll be using him again. He was a good man, helped me out. Bubble show still work in progress, but there should be some videos going up soon on my website www.thebigbenshow.com, and on my YouTube channel Big Ben the Funny Man. So if you're interested to have a look what I'm up to with my corporate bubble show, you can have a look there. Alright, now, today, talking to Rob Neal, close-up magician. Works out of rural Kent in England, the United Kingdom. This is a great guy. He specialises in close-up magic. Especially, he does a lot of weddings, but he can also do stage shows. So check him out. His website is robnealshowman.com. And as usual, all the names and links and websites and the spellings of this will be listed in the description to this episode, and also all the old episodes of my podcast can be found on my own website at www.thebigbenshow. Alright, let's go and talk to close-up magician Rob Neal. Let's talk about as a kid, were you interested in magic, and how did you get started?
I never ever had a magic set or any magic books.
No way.
No magic paraphernalia whatsoever.
So it's true on your website. You saw something on TV when you were 18?
Yeah, I was 18. You know, magic on telly was never even anything I'd ever seen. The big name, David Blaine, he had his first TV special.
Ah, there
telly.
You go. I was looking at your videos and I was thinking, this guy reminds me of David Blaine.
Well, that's a good compliment.
It is.
That's
I
a
mean,
nice compliment.
I
Definitely.
remember.
If you
Yeah,
have
I
one,
remember.
then have that one.
I remember his 2 hour specials coming out in the late '90s, and I was pretty blown away. I thought, oh, this is amazing. I haven't seen anything like that before.
It was the first thing like that I'd ever seen on telly. Obviously, there were like David Copperfield's and that sort of thing, big illusion stage shows. But this was a very, very intimate kind of magic. I was hooked. So I must have been about 17, 18. I went down to because at the time I was living in Hastings, St Leonard's with my mum and dad. So that's originally where I'm from. Yeah. So I found a little newsagent's in the back of the town that actually sold bicycle cards off the shelf, which I don't even think you'd find nowadays. So obviously being inspired by watching David Blaine, I found a red set of bicycle cards. Just
for the listeners, if anybody who doesn't do magic, bicycle cards, which I'm actually holding in my hands, no one can see right now. Red bicycle cards. It's just the name of a brand of playing cards that magicians in particular love to use.
Yeah, they're very favoured just because of the way they're made constructively and how they're made. The lovely finish. And they move. You can make a move about, obviously, which is ideal for sleight of hands. A lot of these plastic coated ones just stick together. You try and spread them out or fan them, and they end up in big old blocks. So, but yeah, for magic, bicycle cards are very favoured.
With the rider back.
I bought my first pack, and I actually recorded the David Blaine special on tape, just so I can keep watching it. Like, I suppose, like a lot of us watch our favourite films over and over again. And
so this will be on a videotape,
and just watched what he was doing, and I was trying to mimic to the best that I understood what he was doing with the deck, with the cards, and then worked out from there. So completely self-taught on that level
fantastic.
As well.
That's amazing.
Which I find a bit more of a favour as well, because I didn't have the chance to pick up any bad habits from being taught constructively or quite intensely by anyone. So how I work cards or anything close up is exactly how it's comfortable for me. So that's how it all started.
So no older brother, no elder sister who was doing it, no dad who was a magician.
No.
What were your interests? What were your interests before you picked up magic at 18? What kind of a teenager were you?
17, 18. I was at sixth form at school. At that time, I was into Irish tap, of all things.
Oh, river dance stuff.
Yeah, and singing.
Okay.
I did a couple of local, low-key singing gigs, but just every time I saw magic or had some cards in my hand, it was just, that was the thing that I wanted to move forward with and do more with.
Okay. So, well, it kind of makes sense. I mean, river dance and singing, they're both performing, as indeed is magic. So I still kind of, I've stayed in the entertainment side of it. Yeah.
But, and also, we'll probably touch on this a bit later, but with the magic, you're giving someone a very, very personal experience with something that should be so innocent, so simple, but it's just to see the look on their faces, when you do an effect, and it's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, were there any other influences on you apart from David Blaine? Anyone in your family or anything? Or was it purely watching the TV program?
It was absolutely from seeing his special.
Oh, that's
so whatever
great.
I've done today, up to this point, is I'm thankful for seeing that special on TV, because like I say, I wasn't really aware of close-up magic, as it were, or as it is today. It wasn't around me visually.
Yeah.
No friends, no family that was into it. It just wasn't one of them things that was in my life till I saw the special, and then obviously when they come out on DVD, you get more footage. You're allowed access to more things. So and the internet was obviously not really around like it is now, especially YouTube. So
Yes.
for tutorials and learning kind of mediums, there was not a lot about. It would either be, I suppose, magic sets or books, which I had neither of again. So I just, I just wanted to learn. So I thought the easiest way, and to be honest, the cheapest way, is teach myself. So
All right.
that's what I did.
Wow. So you're starting to teach yourself to do magic as a hobby, I guess.
Yeah, it was for a long time. As I say, I started 17, 18, so for a long time, I was just doing it to anyone that would watch. Friends, family, anyone that would be interested, a few sessions of street magic. As an instance, there was I had a job in a cost cutter grocery store. So at that time, obviously, whenever I could, I'd do magic to the customers coming in, or if they're having a look around. I'm not sure if I was supposed to be doing that, but hey, I was working there. If I didn't have anything else to do, I'd show them a trick. And there's always one thing that sticks in my mind. There was a customer I did a card effect to, obviously with my own bicycle cards, and he was so amazed by it. He actually came back the next day unannounced with his own cards, and he said, "Oh, what you showed me yesterday, can you do that again with these?" I was like, "Okay, yeah, that's fine." So he did that, and he was so inspired by it and so amazed by it. He came back a week later and showed me some coin vanishes that he had learned. So it was an amazing feeling to make someone have that kind of choice and think, because I've showed that person some card effects, some simple magic, that they've gone off and thought, I'm going to learn a few coin vanishes themselves. Wow.
So you did you learn quite fast then? Were you quite a fast learner?
I have always been told I am a fast learner, but obviously, not being an outside looker, I've never really seen it, to be honest, or spotted it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. I can't say how long, or I can't say how long I think it should take to learn, card tricks or card sleights and things like that. But all I remember is it must have been a few weeks, and then I was out, doing two-card Monty and a few of David Blaine's favourite card tricks. So with cards especially, it is just the basics. Once you learn the moves, you can really adapt it and forge it into any kind of card or magic trick that you want to perform.
Yeah. Wow. So you do some magic tricks on customers. How do you approach them?
Yeah.
Do you want to see a magic trick?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, David Blaine's pun is normally with his mysterious look.
Yeah.
He used to walk up to people and say, "Can I show you something?"
Yeah.
So I didn't really want to go down that avenue in case they turned on me. So I'd always have the cards there in my hand, and maybe spread them as well so they can actually see what they are, what I'm doing with them. Would you like to see a trick today?
Yeah.
So 90%, 90%. They
Oh, brilliant!
They were cooperative. Yeah, they wanted it, so that's good.
That's inspiring me. I should practice my card magic just on anybody. Just take the cards with me, anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how did you first?
Anyone loves it. Everyone loves it, and most people are up for it.
Okay, so you're doing it socially, and you're doing it while you're at work, doing card tricks. Yeah. How did you first start getting some paid work?
That was a very long time down the line, near to the scale of this day and age, to be honest.
Oh, right.
It was about 2010.
Okay,
yes. 2010.
Yeah.
That's when I first started pushing to get some paid work out of it. 'Cause going back to the first half of my magic life, when I first discovered it, and I wasn't really aware of working as a magician. I was quite naive about the magic industry. I suppose that's what it is now.
Yeah.
I just assumed that David Blaine was this one person that could do these things, and he was lucky enough to get on telly with it and to work with it.
Yeah.
So I thought the rest of us just learn it and do it casually with friends and family, and that sort of thing. So I did probably miss quite a big opportunity to start a bit earlier with the work side of it.
Well, this is exactly what I'm interested in, because our industry was for me as well. I had no idea that I could make money doing one-man circus shows in shopping centres in Singapore when that is how I started, and I had no idea.
Oh wow!
And I was just in the right place at the right time for me.
Yeah, that's right.
So you didn't have but I've spoken to magicians before, and some go to magic clubs and magic societies and magic conventions, and they kind of meet mentors and people who are already doing professional shows along the way. But it sounds to me like that you are completely self-taught and you started by yourself.
Yeah, self. I literally, I started with no magic experience. Saw this on telly, bought a pack of cards, started learning my own stuff, learning it from watching it being done on TV.
So all right, so then you're in your 20s. Let's see, 2010.
Seems like a long way.
2010. So you're in your mid to late 20s, and you start thinking, I can make some money out of this.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, because it means you've practiced for a very long time.
That's
actually.
Right. I mean, I had quite a fair bit under my belt already, so I was ready to literally just take that step and go bang, okay, so I can probably do weddings, and that was when it all did completely change, looking at hosting and exhibiting at wedding fairs,
okay,
and making flyers and posters and banners up and that sort of thing.
All right, let's get right into the nitty gritty then. So, was it you were sitting at home one day, or you were at a friend's wedding, or what made you realise that you could work at weddings?
The more recently, obviously to 2010, that sort of year, as I was more into the magic, I started meeting other guys that did the same sort of stuff that I do.
Yeah.
Locally, fairly local, so it's good, and we would, meet up when we can, share ideas. Obviously teach and share thoughts and tricks and that sort of thing to improve each other. And this guy, his name's Adam Smith. He might hear this.
Yeah.
Hopefully he does. He's a good friend and a good fellow magician of mine. He was already at that stage, so he'd been doing it longer than me, and he kind of just showed me and explained it to me how easy it is just to do weddings and how to get there and get into people's line of sight of here I am, I'm a magician.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Wedding.
I haven't interviewed someone who specialises in performing at weddings, so let's see how do you get a wedding gig?
A lot of it can be, or a lot of it has been, word of mouth. Yeah. Especially now, social media.
Yeah.
But the old style fashion wedding fair is very good. We do a lot of them over here, especially being Kent. We've got some lovely venues, and I did one yesterday, and it was in Maidstone, lovely hotel, and that was 10 till 3, and you got set up. You got your coloured banner stand, and you got your table with all your bits and bobs and cards and pens and things on the table. Just meet and greet all the couples coming round looking for what they might want at their wedding. You talk to them about their wedding, see how far they've got. If they, if they're interested, if they are, show them some stuff, like an example of what you would actually do at their wedding. It goes on from there, so it's quite fast-paced.
Oh, this is fantastic. This is exactly what I want to hear, because I didn't know about this way of getting work.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. Obviously, like myself, when me and my wife were looking to get married, we planned it for 3 years. So the 3-year margin is probably the most that people might think about having you.
Yeah.
It's like yesterday I had a booking there and then on the day for July this year, and then I also had a potential inquiry for 2016 of May.
Yeah.
So yeah, they obviously people plan in advance, so they want to see you, ahead of time, and it's a really good way of doing it, of showcasing yourself.
Yeah.
Very good.
I should find out if there are wedding fairs in Hong Kong. I haven't heard of them. It might be. It must be.
Right. Yeah. Well, who knows? Who knows?
But then again, I do some close-up magic, but I'm lucky because I'm a bit of an all-rounder, so I've done a bit of everything. But I think most of my main skills are too wacky and silly for weddings. But you never know, I might think of something. It's always good to explore.
Yeah, weddings should be wacky and silly, Lots of people drinking. And
Maybe,
lots of kids. They love it.
Okay, so let's just go right into it then. So, how do you prepare when you're getting ready for when you're packing your little box of whatever to take to a wedding show?
What, like for a wedding exhibit, or
no? If okay, let's say you've got your job and you know the wedding's on.
Yeah.
Do you travel all over the country?
Yeah, if I needed to. I mean, the furthest I've been, it was for a birthday party, which I did with another guy. Which was, what was that? That was, I think, pardon me for forgetting the name. I think it was Whitstable.
Okay, no worries. We can check it out later on.
So Whitstable from Tunbridge was about. It's Whitstable or Dunstable, because they sound similar. It was a 3-hour journey there.
Yeah, long way.
It was a long way, but generally, the people you meet are fairly local anyway. Especially if you meet them at a wedding fair, they haven't come too far themselves. So generally, the actual wedding will be quite local to you.
Just a quick one, totally random, totally pointless, but my sister got married 2 years ago in a chapel in. I think it was in Kent. It was lovely.
Oh, good.
Don't know why I threw that in. Anyway.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
And I could see someone like you there.
Find out the place, and I'll see if I've
performed there. Yeah, I might check it out after the interview. I'll see if I can find out what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Okay. You do birthday party. You've done a few birthday parties as well, so I'll get into that. Was it for kids?
This one was. This was. I think it was a 30th or 40th.
Okay.
But obviously, it was a close-knit family one for these guys, so they had maybe 50, 60 family people, a lot of kids there as well. So you can always cater for them with, gimmick tricks or coins.
Yes.
Sponge balls, they like them as well.
Yeah.
But for a common wedding, if I was gearing myself up to go to the wedding, put everything in you need, in your box, your cards, business cards, because you're always getting asked by the guests, have you got a business card? Yeah, of course, sure, there you go, take one. And that is where a lot of the word of mouth comes in.
Yes.
I saw you at my friend's wedding, or you did my sister's wedding, this, that, and the other. So a lot of it is vocab. Yeah. Talking to a lot of people.
All right, so you've packed your stuff. You go there. What time did you arrive? Half an hour early?
I normally arrive at venues, at weddings, a little bit early, just so I can get my bearings, know where everything is, meet the bride and groom.
Yeah.
So you get familiar with your surroundings, and I normally leave a little bit later because I've seen it and heard it before where, I've been to a wedding myself, and you see a musician or an entertainer, and they look at their watch, 3 o'clock, right, I'm off, I'm gone. Pay me, I'm gone. So I like to kind of fade it down and just gently leave. So all in all, I suppose, if you tally that in, when I do quotes, when people ask me, how much you do, I always end up doing about half an hour extra with the arriving there a little bit early.
Yeah.
And then kind of fading out a little bit, slowly at the end. Just
I imagine that makes sense for weddings, because often
Yeah.
you're hired by are you normally hired by the bride and groom?
Yeah, generally bride and groom, occasionally by their
Yeah,
parents.
and so anyway, all of those people are going to be very busy that night, so
Yeah,
that they might not be
that's
around
right.
to tell you it's time to go. So you decide for yourself, I guess, and you
Yeah,
fulfil your contractual duty, and you do a little bit extra just to be on the safe side.
yeah. I did one actually late last year. I think it was September, and I overran by an hour. I had no idea whatsoever. It was such a good night
Oh, great!
for me for performing. You know, obviously I didn't mind because I started out doing it for free anyway. You know, but having been paid for this sort of thing is an absolute bonus. So yeah, I didn't mind. Obviously they feel a bit bad. And it's like, no, don't worry, it's fine.
What made it such a great?
If people are loving it and people still want to see it, then it's fine.
Any idea how come some events can be a great night for you and some events can be really hard?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's and it's not even one of them things where I suppose sometimes even with discos, if you've tried doing a few, or if you've been to a few, you can sometimes think, oh, okay, there's not many people here, that sort of thing. But obviously with this magic side of it, kind of how many the guest set you're going into, so if you're going into a big wedding, large wedding, or small little party gathering, and you never know what way it's going to go. So you could start out first 10-15 minutes, half an hour, absolutely amazing, and then you might have 40 odd minutes or the rest of the day even where everyone else just either doesn't care or are not too bothered by it.
Yeah.
So it's always, but that's the gamble. 90% of the time people are willing to see it. In my eyes, if they don't like to see it, if they say no thanks, I say okay. In my mind, I'm thinking your loss, to be honest, because it's up to you. You have this chance to see something that before I knew how to do it was absolutely mind blowing. I still miss that feeling of the wonder. Being on the other side of it. Sometimes I wish I didn't know anything, so I could just watch it and be amazed again.
From my limited experience of doing a roving magic mingle, a cocktail hour, I would say for me a big crowd is much easier because I can do the same 10 minutes of magic to each small group and just work my way slowly around the room, and by the time I've done everybody, my hour's done. And I find the hardest is that it's a tiny crowd where suddenly the spotlight is on me and they're watching me for ages. Do you have that problem?
Yes.
So what do you do? How do you deal with the problem when you turn up and everybody turns to look at you? Maybe it's because it's a small crowd. Here's the magician.
There's been a couple. There's been one in a pub.
Yeah.
That was about 20 people round like two long double tables.
Yeah.
And the other one was in a house. There was about 15 people. At the most,
difficult.
Maybe 12.
Yeah.
And the minimal that they like you to be there is an hour. This pub one
an hour for 12 people.
I think 2 hours. This pub one.
God.
And especially with close up, if you're you're doing a trick to one person or two people at one time, everyone is seeing the same thing. Whereas a wedding, you could plan your set or your routine to maybe do 4 or 5 card effects and then some coins and wallets and rings and that sort of rubber bands, and just mix it up a bit, and then do the same thing again around the room to different people that haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
You get these small intimate ones. That's pretty heavy. You don't want to run out of material.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be doing the same stuff twice.
Yeah.
Because obviously everyone has seen everything.
Yeah.
Any one thing that you're doing at one time, everyone's seen it all at once.
Yeah.
But pulled through it, managed to pull through it. I'd always do them because I'd never turn anything down. So I think now though, that was maybe when I first started. So now I've got a lot more material now, and just a lot of different things to differentiate from the cards.
Okay,
So
material.
it easily makes the time go by.
Yeah, if you're good enough and you do have enough material, then you can do an hour
Yeah.
for the same person if you're good enough.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember.
Obviously that sort of thing for stage is perfect, because there's a lot more showmanship going on there, so you can do each effect to everyone watching for a longer time. You can take longer about it because you can involve them more.
Yeah. I remember I turned up at an event. I had my 5-minute act. I was expecting to go around from group to group, and as I arrived, the MC went, "Oh, here he is! It's Big Ben!" And the whole crowd turned around in a great big circle around me. And I was like, "Oh my god!"
No.
So what I did is I did one big stunt. I had my unicycle with me as well. So I did my one big stunt where I climb on the unicycle and juggle clubs. I did that as a really big trick, like a 5-minute big trick. Everybody watching, everybody clapping, and then I jumped down and went, "Thank you very much," and "Goodbye," and they all wandered off. Then I was able to go around slowly, group to group. That was the only thing I could do.
Oh,
Because
brilliant.
if they'd all watched my 5 minutes of close-up magic, then I'd have nothing left. Because I've only got 5 minutes. That's all I have. I don't have an hour.
Oh, well, they loved it though.
That's all I could do, but it's not easy.
No. Yeah, like you say, you do. Yeah, it's sometimes it can change.
How do you
Normally when you get there.
Yeah, you've got to be adaptable. You've got to be. How do you in the perfect situation, you've got your little routine. You know what you do. Normally it's card tricks and this and that, and you're at your wedding. It's a perfect situation, and you approach the first group. How do you approach a guest nowadays? Do you still say, "Would you like to see some magic? Can I show you something interesting?"
Yeah,
What's your opener?
It absolutely differentiates it. It really, really does change. I suppose it's just a spur of the moment thing. You have your set different things, what you say, and whatever comes out. You just hello. Would you like to see some magic, or would you like to see a trick today, or very formally. Hello, I'm Rob, the magician. I've been hired by Ben and Holly, the couple. They've asked me to come along and do some magic. We'd like to see some.
That makes sense. That would work. Yeah.
I've always, when I've listened to.
I think that's a good idea to say you've been hired by the bride and groom. They kind of feel obligated to. Oh yeah, we better support this. This is something the bride and groom have paid for, and we're here for them. Yeah. So let's enjoy it. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good way of doing it.
Yeah.
I like that.
I felt like I've been looked at as a stranger sometimes.
Of course, yeah.
Because you walk around, you're suited up.
Yeah.
And sometimes you look like you've turned up at the wrong wedding, a guest.
Yes.
And then you take cards out and they're like, "Who's this? Friend of the family? I don't remember. I don't recognise you." So introducing yourself by being hired there by the bride and groom.
I think that makes sense.
Absolutely, vital.
Yeah, because I think that makes sense. I think that's a good way to do it at a wedding. I can see the logic there. Yeah. Because people are there to support the bride and groom, and if you say you've been hired by the bride and groom, they'll feel a duty to at least make it a good wedding for the bride and groom by paying attention to the mission and giving you a chance to do your stuff.
That's right, and that's a lot of people miss the chance because they say no. A lot of people that are quite hesitant. I've had it before. If they're hesitant and then they see something, they're actually, this is really good. Okay, show me some more stuff.
Exactly. You've got to get it so that they can at least see your first trick and give you a chance, and then they'll be hooked, won't they?
Yeah. That's right. Saying on first tricks, normally I start with an effect that apparently goes wrong. So like they take a card, lose it in the deck, and I give them a card that they think is theirs.
Right.
And then they're looking a bit all disappointed and a bit worried for me. They think I've got it wrong, and they're like, "I'll do another one. I say, "Before I do another one, turn your card over," and obviously they turn it over in their hand, and it's their card,
it's
and then
changed.
that's what gets them hooked because they're like, "Okay,
this is great. Okay, this is great. This is great.
Yeah.
So let's go through your close-up routine. So that's your opener normally, right?
Yeah,
breaks the ice.
Yeah, normally because it's fairly swift, so you don't want anything too long.
Good point. Yeah, you're open to be you're open to be fast. Yeah.
Yeah. Normally from there I'll go on to an ambitious card routine. Card is selected. It's placed inside the deck by the spectator or by magician ourselves, and it always ends up on the top of the deck. And then it ends up in the shoe, in my mouth.
I've seen it on video. The one in your mouth. Yes.
Oh yeah.
You've got some lovely videos.
That's an amazing effect because you can always, I suppose with anything really close up, especially cards, but with that effect you can, if the direction you're going in ends up not going in that direction, you can always alter it. You'll always end up, like a lot of people say, do your tricks go wrong? And you can always adapt them so that they end up correct.
Ah, yes. I think I heard Paul Daniels say this once. He was saying that he didn't tell the audience what the result was going to be in case the trick went wrong, and then you could produce a different result, which also seemed rather magical.
So they'd never know.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah.
And by the way, if people who are watching this, are listening to this rather, do check out Rob Neal on YouTube. There's quite a few videos of your amazing card tricks, including the one where the guy's looking for it and it ends up in your mouth.
Yeah, that was a spontaneous night on the town actually.
That's brilliant.
We met up with some students and they loved it.
Great. Yeah, it's awesome. It's really, really good. Okay, so you've done your opener. You've done this more complicated trick with cards.
Yeah, the ambitious card, and then I normally do a 2-card Monty, which is one of David Blaine's favourite tricks. My first ever trick that I learned, that I taught myself, was 2-card Monty.
That's right. I remember him saying this. He was showing some police officers on his TV show, and here's the 2-card Monty or somebody. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. It's initially 2 aces or 2 red aces, and then you give them 2 red aces. You say is the diamond on top, hearts on bottom, and they turn them over, and it's like 2 kings or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's very good.
Trick.
It's very good. And I mean, if I always play it by ear at that point. If they're still loving it, I'll do some like impromptu card effects, card tricks.
Yeah.
If it looks like they're starting to lose interest or they want to see something else, I always wear like a bunch of rubber bands on my wrist, so they're right there ready.
Yeah.
And then I'll do a thing called Crazy Man's handcuffs. So I always relate this effect to the physical science of 2 rubber bands, one horizontal around your thumb and finger,
yes,
and another one vertical around your other hand and
yes,
finger, but interlaced, so they're locked. So when you can't put them apart.
Yeah.
And then obviously they snap the fingers or gently blow on the rubber bands, and then they separate.
Yes. I've seen this done. What's it called again? Crazy
Man's handcuffs.
Crazy Man's handcuffs.
Yeah.
Okay,
and you
check
can
that out.
follow it up with an illusion of that with one rubber band. There is a version.
Wow.
So you're seemingly making 2 merge into 1.
Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have an extra trick. So if they're still interested, if they're hooked, and you've been doing your cards and you're on a roll, you go for the rubber band.
Yeah, rubber bands. And there's also there's a good one with little pocket watches. Little nurse pocket watches. And they're just right for people to hold in their hands. And it's a good one actually for couples, so brilliant for bride and groom. You give each of them a pocket watch, and they check it out. They can move the wheel, pull it out, move the wheel, so the hands are going round. Yeah, that's fine, all working. They turn them face down, so no one knows what times they're choosing. They keep turning the wheel. Once they're happy, they just push the button in. So their time has been stored, and then obviously you turn them over face up and they match.
Oh, lovely!
Amazing. It's like it's a good way of getting them into their kind of mental psyche that they're connected.
Yes. Oh, that's lovely trick.
So it's very good for couples. Yeah.
Very good for couples. Very good for a wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got a lot of stuff. So let's say they're still hooked. Would you still do another trick before moving on to another group?
Yeah. It does vary. And obviously, wearing a suit jacket, you've got a lot of pockets. So sometimes I'll take a couple of sponge balls, different coloured ones.
Yeah.
Just classic effects with sponge balls is, basically you give one person one person the other, snap your fingers, and then the first person that had one has actually got them both.
Yes.
Or they've switched colours and they open their hand and like 15 pop out. So it's just brilliant to see people's reactions after doing something simple with really innocent, normal looking objects, i.e. like cards, rubber bands and little sponge balls. So it's brilliant.
So you're carrying everything you need in your pockets, is that right?
Yeah. And obviously in a little case in the car, in a car park, we just have like backup stuff in case anything, in case you need some backup cards. Sometimes they get wet on the table.
Okay, go back to the car.
Or anything else that you might feel like you want to do. Or sometimes if you're at a gig and someone knows you there and they're like, oh, can you do that one? Yeah, sure, I'll just pop out and go and get it.
Ah, that makes sense.
So you have got kind of backup material as well.
Yeah.
You don't just turn up and all you've got is all you've got. So at least you've got something you can fall back on.
Yeah. Is there a difference between close up at a wedding and doing the street magic like I saw the one with the students on the video on YouTube? Is there anything any differences? Anything you prefer about either one?
No, they're both as brilliant to perform for as each other. For me, just because it could be anyone in any situation, as long as they're getting the reaction that I'm trying to give them, then I'm happy.
Yeah, the reactions on the YouTube videos are awesome. It's really good. really good.
It is what drove me that first day. I started doing it, and
how important do you think? How important do you think is your personality, the non-magical parts of your show? Because you've learnt the skills very well, the manipulation of the cards, and you've learnt the moves very well, and that's obviously very, very important. But how also important is your personality, your presence?
Well, I'm quite calm, casual, and laid back anyway. Mum and Dad always said if the house is on fire, I'd probably just wander out last.
Yeah.
But and I have found that to be a good bonus, because I've not putting a downer on anyone else that performs, but if you're quite in their face, people can get intimidated very, very quickly and very easily. If you start talking like really, really fast, oh, hello, do you want to see a trick? Here you go, and I'm like, well, what's going on here?
Oh yeah.
So back away a bit. So generally, just a calm, collective, personality to be like a one-on-one interview, really.
Yeah,
you've got a trick there in between. It is about solely them.
And that is so. Yeah, you've used your natural personality to your advantage. I can see that being calm and collected can really work. If you go up there and you're all hyper and excited and
the last thing you want to do is put them
manic.
on edge. You want to start inviting them into the same sort of calm and real situation that you're in.
Yeah.
So especially if they come over to you, you just want to tone them down to your level. If a lot of people come up to you drunk, especially in the street, for doing it.
Okay, how do you deal with? How do you
they
deal?
will carry on.
Yeah. Have
They
you
will
had any?
carry on and watch.
Have you had any problems with drunk ones?
Not problems, just sometimes you get the occasional accident. They might knock something out your hands, or knock the cards flying, but that's fine. Just pull out another deck. It's a standard deck, so it doesn't need, there's no setup. Just pull it out and start again. But not really. Everyone's quite well behaved.
Excellent.
As they should be.
All right. Not like me when I do a kid's birthday party with 550 manic 5-year-olds hyper on sugar.
Yeah. Not you for that one. Not you for that one. Wow.
How about let's go into the skills then. How do you? I guess your persona It sounds to me like, anyway, it sounds to me like your persona as a magician is basically an extension of your normal persona, your normal personality.
Yeah.
So let's go into the skills then. How do you practice? Do you practice in front of a mirror? Do you practice in front of a web camera? Do you video yourself when you're practicing tricks?
I've never really practiced whilst trying to see what I'm doing at the same time.
Right.
So I think sometimes you can get a bit caught up on angles. So you might get a bit of a habit of doing a certain thing at a certain angle, and it might not look that natural if you do it out onto someone in the real world. So
that's interesting.
I've always just done it through me. Whenever I'm not doing anything else, I've mainly got playing cards in my hands. Apart from when I'm asleep. Although I might even have, but I wouldn't know if I had. But it is a complete digital fixation with playing cards and anything that's close up.
Yeah.
Just having the dexterity in your hands to manipulate things and make people believe that you're doing something that you're not, to be honest.
Digital fascination. You mean digital as in your fingers?
Yeah, digital fixation. Yeah, with just being able to control playing cards to the way that you want.
And I'm interested in the fact that you said, watching yourself and making videos of yourself doing it is not something you do, because that's what I thought. How I thought I should learn it is just sit in front of my computer, put my web camera on, and do the trick.
See, I do that. That is a big favour of mine. Making videos of the material,
right,
and then watching it back to see if it works.
Yeah.
Or how it could work better. But I've never kind of used a mirror to practice in real time, as it were.
Right.
Because I want to be looking. I don't always want to initially be looking straight ahead. Sometimes you might need to look at a deck, or sometimes you might want to look away.
Right.
So not really use mirrors, but I do favour recording the material to see how it looks.
That's right, because you've got lots of your tricks. Just the trick of just showing your hands doing the magic trick on YouTube.
Yeah. I've put a few on. I'm actually on Vimeo as well.
Yes,
Vimeo.com.
Okay. All right, we'll put a shout out for that. Make a note. Vimeo. Okay, I'll get your Vimeo stuff.
Yeah, Vimeo and YouTube are quite favoured for putting up videos.
Yeah. Do you practice in front of anybody else before you go in front of a real guest?
If you've got a new trick, I'm comfortable with practicing new tricks or new moves or just jamming, really.
Sorry, I wasn't listening. I wasn't listening to. I couldn't hear you. Friends are comfortable or are uncomfortable?
Friends and family. Yeah. Sorry. I am comfortable with.
Okay.
Learning or creating new stuff in front of them, and I'd never go out and perform something new for a job, unless I could do it without thinking about it.
Yeah.
If you can just reel it off and perform it, then you're ready to do it. If you have to stop and think about what your next move is, then obviously don't do it.
I think this is very important. You've got to be. I think you've got to be. A lot of the
time you're just so excited and you're so buzzed about having this new effect or new trick.
Yeah.
You just want to get out there and do it and show it. But at the end of the day, if you do it wrong or you don't do it right, that's enough to make you think, I'll never want to do that again.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
pick
so.
Up on it.
I think
it's a big.
I think you're right. You've got to practice until the trick. You can do the trick just without even thinking. You have muscle memory in your fingers. You know exactly what's going on.
Yeah. Without even thinking, you should be able to have a conversation with someone else about something completely irrelevant.
Absolutely.
And still do it to someone else on the other side.
Yeah.
Without thinking about it, like you say.
Yeah. So you got to really get it down, and even once you got it down, then spend a little bit longer practicing, and then finally take it out for the public.
But the biggest practice I've ever had is actually performing it for real, because obviously when you're practicing effects on your own, you're following that effect to the T of how you think it should be followed.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the real world, some people change their mind about what card they want to take, or where they take it from, or indeed where they put it back in the deck. So they do change it up a lot, and that is probably the best practice to do. Is to practice on a real person that is actually coming at you, and giving their two pennies worth really of trying to catch you out.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and you've got to be prepared to always be a step ahead if they are trying to catch you out, so you can actually come back and
this is what I want to talk about. Do you have a favourite kind of? Do you have a favourite kind of audience member, or do you have a kind of members of the audience you don't like performing magic tricks, or more difficult ones?
Not really. Like I say, anyone that wants to see is welcome.
Yeah.
Obviously, just I suppose the hardest factor would be age, really.
Yeah. Okay.
And that is only on the younger side. Obviously, if I don't know, 6-year-old or something, obviously they're not really understanding what cards should and shouldn't do, or sponge ball shouldn't do. They're not really aware of the laws of what things should and shouldn't do. So until they can actually understand that, actually that card shouldn't travel through the deck and end up on top, that's actually quite cool.
Yeah.
So it is only the age really that there's a bit of a milestone.
Okay.
But anyone wants to watch, then I'm happy to show.
Yeah. Do you get guys who really want to try and catch you out?
Yeah.
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 How do you deal with those? Are you just so good that you can?
Yeah, it's like just an example. Someone takes a card, they want to put it back. You say, okay, stick it back there, face down. You've cut the deck for them. Put it on that half, and they're like, no, I don't want to put it there. So you have to go along with it.
Oh man.
And make sure that you can come out the other side with a backup plan. If they're going to put that card in the deck where they want, how are you going to find out what their card was, or where it was?
Great.
So you've always got to be 2, 3, 4 steps ahead.
Yeah. Just
in case, because they do it. They want to do it. That's what they want to do. Or a lot of people say, like, right from the word go, hello, I just would like to see a trick. Do you want to take a card? Try something? Okay, yeah, I'll take a card, yeah, but you're not going to get me. You're not going to get me.
Yeah.
The really in denial ones, but they're the best ones because they love it. They love being caught out. If they're trying to catch you out, they love being caught out, and they want to see more.
Do you ever get stage fright? You sound like a very calm personality.
Yes. I suppose. Well, anyone else that I've ever spoken to or that I've heard do get it as well. So it must be in everyone that kind of, if anyone entertains in front of even just one single other person, there must be at least a small amount of stage fright or a bit anxiety.
Yeah.
As to what is actually going to turn out here, what's going to happen. I mean, like if I'm going to a wedding, I always think, well, what if they don't like what I'm doing, or and you always think the worst, but it's not like that. It's you'll go into that job because they've asked you to go there. Mostly the guests know that you're turning up, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
People are waiting for you. People want to see you, so you're there because of them, and you've got something good to show them. So show them.
Yes.
Don't be worried about it. That's what they're there for. If they don't want to see it, that's fine.
Do you take great care over your appearance for a wedding? Make sure you're looking really, really super smart.
Yeah, polish the shoes.
Yeah.
Try and brush off the suit.
Yeah, I think that's important.
Sometimes, I sometimes dress a little bit extra up. Might have like a waistcoat and a tie as well.
Yes.
But normally, shoes, suit, shirt, and you don't want to be, you don't want to look like a guest.
No. So how do you differentiate yourself? How do you differentiate? Oh, sorry. Say that again.
9 times out of 10, recently I've been rolling up my jacket sleeves and then folding my shirt sleeves over the top. A lot of other magicians do this, but for me, people pick up on that and they're like, well, he hasn't even got any sleeves. So how did he do that?
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
like, oh, okay.
And
That's
also,
actually an extra bonus of you know,
yes,
not thinking that I've just got something on the lead or a bit of wire.
something up your sleeve. They'll think that there can't be anything up your sleeves. And also, I guess it differentiates yourself from the guests. No, none of the guests would normally have their
That's
shirt
right.
sleeves
Yeah.
rolled up over their
Actually,
jacket.
to do that, I walked past one of the guests at a wedding, and he said, "Oh, are you the magician?" I said, "Yeah, how do you know?" He said, "Oh, you look like one." Okay.
Wow.
All right. Really?
So
Okay.
how do you make yourself look a bit different to the guests? Is it little things?
I don't know. Well, I suppose for one thing, you're walking around on your own,
Yeah.
and I really don't know. Because to be honest, I've been to one, or it might even be just 2 weddings that I've been to as a guest. I've seen a magician turn up.
Okay.
So I don't know how people see you, or if they actually see you as someone different. So my new suit is like a dark navy blue. So hopefully the majority of wedding parties aren't that. I know it is a big favourable colour to have now.
Yeah.
Like a navy blue. But 9 times out of 10, I'm usually the only one there in a navy blue suit. So
Yes.
holding a deck of cards, so that's a big giveaway.
Yeah. All right. Do you have any? I'm putting you on the spot here. Any interesting story? Something that's like a gig that really stands out in your mind?
Stands out for the fact that it was the most surreal one I did.
Yeah.
Well, leading up to this, I'd done like the odd wedding here and there. I'd done a couple of birthday parties, a few charity gigs, and then this, I did a gig for about 50 quid in a bar in Tunbridge Wells. It was about 5 hours.
Oh wow.
But on and off 5 hours, mix and mingle, close-up magic with a stage effect in between. And I thought, well, it's £50. That's fine. That's a bonus. But I do these things mainly to get my name and my face out there, so people am aware that I'm around and this is what I do.
Mm.
So it's a bit more on the advertising key as well. So from this, I had an email come through saying, "Oh, I got your business card off my friend. They saw you at such and such in Tunbridge Wells. I actually work for Nuts Magazine. Can you come along and do our Christmas party?"
All right.
So yeah, there's little old me. I think it was in Mayfair, this hotel.
Wow.
And I was quite thrown back by it all. You know, there's Hollyoaks actors there, EastEnders actors there. I chatted to Dean Wicks. Obviously, his character plays Dean Wicks in EastEnders. Forgive me, I can't remember his real name. And some other like Hollyoaks actors, and it was just really, really quite surreal for me to go from weddings and parties and casual, loving it, to this kind of big old bit of pressure. But it worked out really well. It was a really good night. Everyone loved it, and I don't know what I was worrying about, to be honest.
I can imagine you're doing your act for people you've seen on the TV celebrities, TV actors.
When it's like that, and you're not used to it. You just feel a bit intimidated, or they've probably seen magicians 10 times better than me, but everyone was loving it as if they'd never seen it before. So it's quite surprising.
Ah, brilliant.
What the effect you can actually have on anyone. But it was brilliant. It was really, really good. Quite surreal.
Fantastic. Is there any? Let's talk about some tips you'd give to someone who was starting out. Is there any general tips you'd give someone who's starting out at this?
Completely be yourself. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know. Obviously, if I talk about my history of magic, David Blaine comes up a lot, but that is only because he is the source that I saw and that I learned, what it is. To be honest, I discovered close-up magic through seeing David Blaine. So, but I never tried to base myself on my personality or the way I work or the way I do these different tricks on him or anyone else, to be honest.
Be yourself.
You've always got to just find that, because anyone can teach you a card trick or a coin effect or sponge balls or anything like that. But as everyone's hands are different, and everyone's personality is different, the way they put things across is so different. You don't want to be forging yourself into how someone else performs a trick.
Yeah.
Because it does look the same. You can tell. So if you put your own stamp on it and make it fit your hands and your personality and the way you talk and the way you present it, if you make that fit to yourself, then you will be recognised and remembered as yourself.
Yeah.
Not a magician that the magician that looks like or does things like David Blaine. It'd be more like, oh, do you remember that guy Rob Neal?
Rob Neal. Brilliant, Rob.
Go.
Is there anything specific, a specific tip, if you can think of anything? Do you have any really specific tips you can think of? Anything really?
Okay, yeah. Especially for if any spectator is giving you a hard time, like trying to catch you out.
Yeah.
A good saying, I can't remember where I heard it from, but it was a very long time ago and I've always stuck by it. Don't run if no one's chasing you. Do not panic.
Don't panic.
Don't run if no one's chasing you.
There you go.
Just walk away and be done with it.
Brilliant. All right, that's a good one. You mentioned that you also do some stage work.
Yes.
So.
Yes. That's. I get it very rarely, but what I want to do is really, really good, because it takes me away from. It breaks it up. It breaks up all the close-up stuff. So a lot of the effects I base from Darren Brown ideas. Getting people up to think of this, think of that, or open an envelope that's been there for hours on end, and it's been something that he predicted first of all. That sort of thing, and a lot of confabulations at the end, a lot of big things that reveal themselves that were kind of staring you in the face from the start, but you didn't realise.
Oh yes, yes.
It's a really good thing. You kind of reiterate at the end. Oh, before you did this, do you remember you did that and you said this, and it's actually worked out.
I love Darren Brown. So for any Americans who are listening, and maybe you don't know who Darren Brown is, it's DERREN, right?
Yeah.
Darren Brown, and he's would you call him a magician? I don't know what you call him.
Oh, I don't know, to be honest. He's probably a psychological
manipulator.
Manipulator of mind reading, I suppose.
Yeah. So that's a very I like that, because you don't have to carry huge props. You're not doing the big illusions. We've got to carry some enormous 6-foot box. Okay, I'm going to hold you there just for a second, Rob. I think this is quite interesting. So you do sometimes do stage shows, and and you don't take huge props like massive 6-foot boxes that you're going to climb inside. And
no. A lot of it is like resources. So say you'd have a wad of envelopes for your envelope tricks, and like a paper shredder for a good effect. Like if you get one person out of the audience, you borrow their £5 note or whatever they got on them at the time. You put that in one envelope out of 6, and they're all numbered. They get mixed up, and you stand them up in front of the stage, and then you get them eliminated by audience members picking numbers, or they roll a dice, and then one by one the envelopes go in to the shredder. Obviously you can see it coming out the bottom, and a sigh of relief when you can see that there's no shredded pound note coming out at the end.
Oh, lovely.
The one left at the end is the one with the money in it.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's a good one. Brilliant, Rob. Fantastic talking to you.
And yourself. It's been very, very good.
Cheers, Rob.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Ben.
Take care.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
So, that's Rob Neal. Do check him out at robnealshowman.com, and check me out at thebigbenshow.com. What a great guy. What a great time. Alright, take care. Talk to you again soon. All the best.